We are back. Happy Tuesday. It's the 10th day of August, 2021. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, safely on the air, and I am completely back into the regular work mode after taking some time off last week. And I came in here, of course, yesterday and did a show. It wasn't particularly good, but we did one. But now we're back at it on this Tuesday. We have a lot to touch on. You'll notice a few high clouds. That's the last remnants of that low pressure trough that brought us the comfortable temperatures and the cooler temperatures, the below normal temperatures. That low pressure trough is on its way out. Big, huge ridge of high pressure is right off the coast of the Pacific Ocean. It's going to build up, it's going to slide in, and here comes the heat. Mid-90s anyway today, and then triple digits for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We've already had 8 days this summer with 100 degrees or more, with at least 100 degrees as the afternoon high. Of course, we hit 113 on one day, so we're going to add another 4 days to that total. Forecast details are coming up. Busy news day in the bullpen. We'll fill you in with the information that you need. We'll talk a little baseball. Of course, Mariners and AppleSox didn't play yesterday. The Mariners are back at T-Mobile Park tonight to take on the Rangers. The AppleSox have their last 3 games of their season down in Yakima, taking on the Pippins. And that reminds me, my guest today, do it every Tuesday, Joel Norman, the broadcasting voice of the AppleSox, and Tino Bethancourt, who does double duty, plays a little third base, plays a little first base. What he really does is rake the baseball with the bat. Tino and Joel will be joining me in the back half of the hour. Plus, we got the obscure holidays, some celebrity birthdays, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and another very interesting day in history. It's 68 degrees outside of our studios. Yesterday at this time, it was 58 degrees. So we're off to a mild start, and it's going to get hot. Again, details are coming up. 2 minutes after the hour, let's start our proceedings with our Sky-Fi cameras, our views around the valley. And we say good morning to the valley proper. Again, you can see the high clouds already moving out. It'll be sunny and warm today. And then that excessive heat watch will start tomorrow afternoon, goes all the way through Saturday evening. The big question is, how much smoke and haze are we going to get? Because when it gets really hot, the fires are going to start building up again. Now, they've made really good progress on the Moe Creek fire up in the Antioch area. It's about 160 acres, past 50% containment. The Cub Creek fire up in the Winthrop area is at 50% containment. So they're making some really good headway, but when it gets hot and dry, the fires pick up in intensity, thus more smoke. So this is kind of a wait and see what's going to happen as far as how much smoke and haze we are going to get and how much that's going to actually knock the temperatures down. But today is going to be the coolest of the next week or so, and it's still going to be in the 90s, well into the 90s today. You were forewarned. Good morning to the valley. Camera 2. From the cross camera 2, Megan wants to go visit. Well, the camera is Waterville. We're visiting the Columbia River. You can see to your left just a little sliver of Antioch, the gateway to recreation. Earthquake Point jumps right out at you. And the orchards with the netting, so the crows and the birds don't eat the ripening fruit. By the way, where are my pluots? I need pluots, that hybrid fruit that I love so much, plum and apricot put together. It's a great marriage. I can't find them anywhere. It might just be me. If you know where I can find some pluots at local fruit stands or stores or whatever, get a hold of me so I can give me some pluots. I want them. Good morning to the Upper Columbia River. Camera number 3. Ooh, cool view. Valley High? I'm waiting for confirmation. Yes, Megan says that's Valley High. So I think we're looking up Blewett Pass on the way up towards the summit. That's the guess there. If you look down to the lower left-hand corner of your screen, you can see just a little sliver of US 97. So I want to say that's pointed towards, heading up towards the pass to the summit. That's my guess. I think that's pretty accurate. And the only reason I can say that is I can see the sun glare on the lens on the right-hand side of your screen. Good morning to our friends at Valley High. Camera number 4. Ooh, Lake Wenatchee makes another appearance. I understand the sockeye salmon are hungry up there at Lake Wenatchee. All the fishermen are congregated at the very top of the lake where the Little Wenatchee and the White River flow into the Wenatchee River, because that's where the salmon like to hang out. And I understand those folks are getting their limits and getting it pretty quick. You can see the Caleb Glen Golf Course, a little bit of Fish Lake on the far right, and Lake Wenatchee dominates your screen with Dirty Face Mountain. Overseeing Lake Wenatchee, one of my favorite places in north central Washington. And fine work again this morning from 3M. Here's another updated slide, kind of like the one we showed you yesterday. It's just got some more information as far as our excessive heat watch. Again, it starts tomorrow afternoon. It goes all the way through Saturday evening. It is going to be hot. No way around that. Another big, strong upper level ridge is going to start sliding into our area. It's going to cook us up. It's going to put the lid on. It's going to be hot and hazy for everybody in our viewing area. Today is going to be considerably warmer. We only hit 83 on Monday, so it was 78 on Sunday. 83 was our high yesterday, mid-90s today, and then triple digits to add to our 8 days with already 100 degrees or more for afternoon high temperature. By the way, for the record, as I mentioned before, so far this year we've had 8 days with the afternoon high temperature of at least 100 degrees. We're going to add another 4 or so onto that, and we still have a lot of summer to go. We usually, and have had in the past, days in September that got near 100 degrees. For the record, last year we had 5 days that got to 100 degrees or more, and then in 2019 we had no days in the summer of 2019 where we got to triple digits. Just giving you the information, you can do with it as you please. From the National Weather Service, here we go. Sunshine today, into the 90s. Our normal afternoon high temperature on this date's about 89, so just a little bit above that. But then, yeah, good shot at triple digits Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, certainly into the triple digits. Sunny, hot, hazy. Again, how much smoke and how much dirty air we're going to get is really dependent on how much more work they can get on the area fires. And there's some significant fires in British Columbia, and the winds are going to be coming down from the north. That high pressure ridge is off the Pacific Ocean. As it slides in and it spins around clockwise, it's going to grab some of that smoke from the British Columbia fires and funnel it right down the Okanagan Valley into our area. The question is how much wind and how much of it will disperse as we heat up. That we don't know yet. Right now, our air quality is just fine, but that may very well change. 8 minutes after the hour, after a 1 minute break, we're going to have your news, and there's a lot of it. You're watching a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Things have changed in the motorsports industry. Short supply and high demand have emptied showrooms. But what hasn't changed are the experts at Doghouse Motorsports. They are here to help you reserve the machine of your choice. Stop by and check out the latest 2022 Husqvarna motorcycles, UBCO, and Intense electric vehicles, and other new additions to the Doghouse Motorsports family of high-quality products.
Over the last year and a half, the industry's absolutely changed, but the Doghouse is still your best option for all your power sports needs.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
9 minutes after the hour, 68 degrees. Will be into the 90s anyway today. Triple digits, a distinct possibility with the excessive heat watch beginning Wednesday afternoon and lasting pretty much through the weekend. Our top story on this Tuesday morning, Governor Jay Inslee said yesterday he is going to require all state employees and contractors under his branch of government, as well as all Washingtonians working in healthcare, to be fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 pandemic by October 18th. Seattle and King County leaders say they will follow suit. The move could affect 500,000 people in our state. Inslee said that requirement of the vaccination stems from COVID-19 cases, the rising COVID-19 cases, and the more infectious Delta variant.
This is a beautiful afternoon, but we have to recognize a reality. We have essentially what is a new virus at our throats, a new virus that is twice as transmittable and is causing an explosion of this dread disease in the state of Washington. We're in the middle of an explosive threat to our freedoms because of this disease. We want the freedom of not having to shut down our economy again. We want the freedom of not having to wear masks sometime in the future. We want freedom of our children not having to worry about getting this disease. And we want freedom for everyone to live without having to think about the COVID virus. And we know that there is only one path to that freedom, and that is through more Washingtonians getting this safe, effective, successful vaccine. Therefore, today, the state of Washington is taking decisive action against this COVID disease. We do so to protect our vulnerable communities, to prevent further calamity to our state, and to once again be on the path to full recovery for the state of Washington. So we will be requiring our state workers and our contractors who come onto our sites and workers in private health care and long-term care settings to be vaccinated as a condition of further employment. Individuals covered by this order I will issue today will have until October 18th to become fully vaccinated against the COVID disease. Now that means you essentially have to have your last vaccination by October 4th, depending on which particular vaccine you take. And as we know, you have to take 2 doses of the Moderna and Pfizer product. So October 18th will be the date we will expect all of our state employees and folks in healthcare settings to become fully vaccinated and therefore save lives in the state of Washington.
Unfortunately, we still have far too many of our fellow Washingtonians who have not gotten their vaccine thus far. They are not just unvaccinated, they are unprotected. And they are a big reason why our state is once again seeing a dramatic rise in COVID-19 cases. We're not just seeing a rise in cases, but our healthcare system is under immense strain as the Delta variant is now at least 85% of our cases, and our modeling shows that to be over 95%. What the governor has announced today shows that we at the state support vaccines and that we must protect ourselves and those around us, those we serve. Additionally, we know vaccines are key to prevent healthcare workers from being the very source of COVID-19 transmission in the patients and clients they serve. It is hard for all of us to watch cases increase and vaccination rates slow when we have vaccines available. As the governor mentioned, they work, they are safe, they are effective, they prevent serious illness and death. Let me be clear. Our rise in cases is largely due to those people not getting vaccinated. But the decision not to get vaccinated is now impacting others as well. We hear stories every single day of people in our community who are continuing to face the devastating consequences of this disease on Washington families and the very communities in which they live.
For me, it's a combination of 2 things that necessitated this step. One, where you actually see hospitals no longer to function appropriately, when they're having to ship patients to a different county or even a different state because they can't function. That brings this home. And we're seeing some of our hospitals in the worst hit position or places. We have counties in the state today that have 3 times higher infection rate than King County. And so we're seeing the future in those counties. We're seeing what are happening in Tri-Cities today happening in other counties in the next several weeks or months, because all counties are going up. Every single county's numbers are going up. So when I have a window into the future that hospitals can't function, that means we got to act. Now, I will tell you this on a personal basis. I went to a memorial service for one of our state employees a couple weeks ago. And this person left a 9-year-old daughter. And I was listening to this daughter, and I'm going, that This young girl didn't have to lose her father, who was in his early 40s. And I just don't want any state employee or their family to suffer needless death. And we now have had 2 needless deaths that I'm aware of in our Department of Corrections alone, even though we've had a testing protocol that's really good. And that hit me right here, to see more children lose their parents. So it is a time to take action. I believe it's my responsibility to take action, and we are.
In other news, an Othello teenager was killed in a one-vehicle accident. This happened outside Moses Lake on Saturday. According to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, 19-year-old Dina Romero Ramos was driving a 2009 Toyota Corolla West on Road 9 Northeast when the road ended, but she continued on a private gravel driveway before losing control on a turn, and that caused the car to go airborne. The Sheriff's Office said the front of the car struck the ground. The vehicle came to rest on its hood. Ramos died at the scene. A 19-year-old woman passenger, also from Othello, sustained non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to the local hospital. An Okanagan woman is dead after a motorist struck her while she was sitting in the street, and then the motorist apparently left the scene of the accident. 36-year-old Charmaine Lazard was sitting in the roadway in the 2300 block of Elmway Street about 10:50 on Sunday night. Now, security video from a nearby residence appeared to show a small white or silver passenger truck was involved. The vehicle left northbound after the accident. Anybody with information about that vehicle should contact the Okanagan County Sheriff's Office. A Seattle man is wanted on a warrant for allegedly holding a group of people at gunpoint and shooting one man in the shoulder. 40-year-old Donald Jeremy Brown, he is charged with first-degree assault, robbery, and burglary in the June 27th incident. Wenatchee police said the shooting took place in a garage on Montana Court. Now, Brown allegedly stole a backpack containing about $10,000 and shot the 34-year-old victim when he tried to intervene. Police say the whole incident was captured on video. Chelan County prosecutors filed the charges and issued the arrest warrant on Friday. Brown has previously served time in prison for robbery and illegal firearms possession. He so far remains at large. The Washington Department of Corrections plans to establish a work release facility in Wenatchee. The first public hearing on the matter takes place at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. A work release facility is a bridge for incarcerated people preparing to return to the community. It allows them to seek jobs outside while still serving their sentences. The expansion would serve detainees in all 4 counties in north central Washington. The locations would be at the Chelan County Jail and at the former Deaconess building. The hearing will be held virtually. You can register to attend at the address that you saw on your screen there. The public may also submit written comments to the Department of Corrections. And finally this morning, after being closed since July 12th because of wildfires burning in the area, the North Cascades Highway reopened Monday morning, but reduced speed limits are in place and lengthy delays are expected. Because of those delays, the Washington State Department of Transportation is still recommending people use Stevens or Snoqualmie passes for crossing the Cascades. As fire response activity continues, there will be a 35-mile-per-hour speed limit, and a pilot car will guide traffic on Highway 20 for mileposts 165 to 178. By the way, the Cub Creek fire along the scenic highway has burned about 53,000 acres, and as of this morning is about 50% contained. And that is your news. At 19 minutes after the hour, we'll have a newscast for you, as we always do, at 5, 6, and 10 every Monday through Friday. And to preview some of the stories we're working on, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, the median sales price for a home in the Wenatchee Valley skyrocketed once again last month. We'll tell you how much. Get ready for yet another heat wave as we prepare for triple-digit temperatures by tomorrow. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has the latest on the final week of baseball for the AppleSox, as well as the Mariners as they begin a 3-game series against the Rangers. That and all the day's news stories coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. We appreciate hearing from our viewers. If you have a news tip, you just want to drop us a note, you want to talk about how this program progresses, don't forget, we accept constructive criticism here at Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, so long as it's unqualified praise. Facebook, our email address, our phone number, our website. It's all at the bottom of your screen. Going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk sports, the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and another visit with our friends from the Wenatchee AppleSox, Tino Bethancourt and Joel Norman. Coming up, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Getting ready for the boating season is easy with the help of Bombfile Boats and Motors. With marine technology changing fast, the service department stays up to date with the newest developments and factory certifications. They have what it takes to make boating fun and hassle-free for the summer. Then as that garage and driveway fill up in the fall, one call is all it takes to learn about their convenient service and storage packages. Now's the time to call and find out why Washington boaters have been trusting Bombfile Boats and Motors to service, store, and maintain their boats for over 70 years.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
22 minutes after the hour, sports, the Mariners back home. At T-Mobile Park, the Texas Rangers are in town for a series that begins tonight. Seattle just finished a 4-6 road trip at Texas, at Tampa Bay, and in the Bronx, and they're hoping the friendly confines of T-Mobile Park will help change directions in the wild card race. The Rangers come in with a 39-73 record. They'll start Colby Allard. He's a left-hander. He's 2-10 on the year with a 5.07 ERA. He'll go against the Mariners rookie Logan Gilbert. He's a right-hander. He's 5-3 so far this year with a 4.14 ERA. First pitch tonight, 7:10 on Root Sports. There were no other games in the American League West last night, so today the Angels play a makeup doubleheader in Toronto. Oakland begins the series in Cleveland, and the Astros are at home against the Rockies. Right now, the A's and the Red Sox are in position for the 2 American League wildcard playoff spots. Yankees 2 games back, Toronto 3 games out, Mariners 5.5 back. Wenatchee AppleSox begin their final 3-game series tonight in Yakima. Now, even though Wenatchee was eliminated from the playoffs over the weekend, they're still coming off a pretty impressive 6-2 homestand. And for the Yakima Valley already in the postseason, the radio voice of the Wenatchee AppleSox, Joel Norman, tells me that the series may be a chance for Wenatchee to finish strong.
In a lot of ways, you can look at it from the selfish perspective, and no one's going to say that's wrong. It's a chance to add to your stats. You know, Yakima has said, and as we remember from what he did with the AppleSox, when the AppleSox clinched in 2019, he didn't throw a lot of, star pitchers that last series against Corvallis. We had position players pitching. We had guys we picked up on the road pitching. I imagine it's going to be something similar this time. It depends on the ability of those guys, but I think the guys are going to get some chances for the AppleSox to swing the bat and do some damage. And, Coach Crustangel doesn't care about those games because it's over for them until Saturday when they host Bellingham. So for the AppleSox, why not add a few more wins? It's a lot more fun getting back onto the bus after a win than it is a loss. So, why not do it that way? It's, I think there's that perception that there's nothing to play for once you're knocked out of the playoffs. But if that was the case, the guys wouldn't still be here. They'd go home.
AppleSox first baseman Tino Bethancourt says this final series, like it has been all summer long, is about getting better.
It's not really about the stats for me. I kind of thinking about it right now. It's just how can I get myself better before I start this fall season. And it's just one last series with the boys and kind of just have a good experience and try to have as much fun as possible going into it.
Bethancourt came to Wenatchee from San Diego State University. He actually hails from El Dorado Hills, California. That's a suburb of Sacramento. And Bethancourt says being in a small town for the last couple of months is kind of a nice change.
It's been totally different. Coming from a really suburban area, coming out here, it's amazing. You see all the mountains, and even in right field here, you got a nice valley view. And we go down to Leavenworth, floating down the river. It's just beautiful everywhere here, The weather is super different too. It's hot, it's windy, it's cold, it's everything,
And a little smoky at times too.
A little smoky too,
might add,
last week.
Again, my complete conversation with Joel and Tino will be later on this morning here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The AppleSox Pippins get underway from Yakima County Stadium, 6:35 tonight. You can hear all the action on their flagship station with Joel Norman on Sunny FM. The rest of the schedule for the West Coast League looks something like this. And by the way, this is pretty much the schedule for the rest of the season. As I wrap it up with the next 3 days, Bend will be at Corvallis. Port Angeles will host Portland. Bellingham travels to Cowlitz, and Walla Walla takes on Ridgefield. And the latest standings in the West Coast League: Yakima and Bellingham, they are set in the north. Corvallis is in the playoffs in the south. Well, we don't know the number 2 playoff seed in the south. So the Knights won both the first and the second half titles. The team that finishes with the second best overall record wins that second playoff spot in the south. So everybody else in the division, you got a shot anyway. We'll know more come Thursday night. After a day off on Monday, the Seahawks are back at practice at the VMAC in Renton, preparing for their first preseason game Saturday against the Raiders. One literal and figurative large piece of the puzzle that is missing is Dwayne Brown, the veteran tackle. He is at camp. He's just not participating in camp because he wants his contract extended. Quarterback Russell Wilson says he wants to see this taken care of soon.
I mean, not having Dwayne Brown out there is a pretty significant deal because I think he's one of the best left tackles in the game. There's no arguing it. I think he's as good as it gets. There's nobody more athletic, more talented than he is. Age is just a number. He looks like he's 28, 30 out there. He's really exceptional. He's so smart and physical. Understands the game, and I think people fear him. Just be honest with you. When they're rushing him and playing against him. So we definitely want to be able to get him back out there. And we got to figure that out because we need Dwayne Brown.
From Pete Carroll's perspective, he says, I get it, I understand, I respect his approach, and, well, he says, we're going to continue to work to get an agreement done.
Dwayne and I are doing great. In our conversations about stuff, he's been great, and he's making a statement, he's making a statement and about what he feels he needs to have happen, so.
Do you think he'll miss any games?
I don't know that. He's not going to play in preseason. He wasn't going to, so that's not going to make a difference right now.
Seahawks fly to Las Vegas on Friday, and they got the Raiders Saturday night at 6 o'clock. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Tuesday, the 10th day of August. And the obscure holiday of the day is perfect for those dog days of summer, perfect for you people who like to lay about and procrastinate and idle and slack off. And it's National Lazy Day today. It's for your inner couch potato. In other words, accomplish nothing. For me, that's called Tuesdays. It's for you people who don't normally do that. A lot of people, in fact, almost everybody I know, really they're not good at goofing off and slacking off and procrastinating. They like to keep busy. They like to do stuff. So see if you can pull it off. See if you can, if you're not used to doing it, see if you can just not accomplish much of anything today. National Lazy Day. So it's time for you to be lazy. Don't get out of bed. Be a sloth. I don't know if I could do that. Maybe it's worth a shot. Today in history, that is the Swedish warship, the Vasa. They dug it out of the harbor, by the way, outside of Stockholm. It's a friendly reminder that even the Titanic sailed for 5 days before it sank. The Vasa lasted about 20 minutes into her maiden voyage, and she sank in Stockholm, just outside of Stockholm on August 10th, 1628, 393 years ago today. It was a brand new ship. The king wanted a really nice, big, strong ship to show the naval power of the Swedish Navy. Unfortunately, they made it way too top-heavy. They put all the heavy cannons and the guns on the top couple of decks, and then to celebrate the maiden voyage, they left the ports open. The gun ports on the sides of the ship were left open so they could fire off these ceremonial salutes as they went out into the harbor. And they went out in the harbor, and a big gust of wind caught the sail, and it tipped, and it went back up again, and then another gust of wind, and then all the water started to pour in to the open ports where the guns were, and bloop, Down she went. Thousands of people witnessed this. This was a big event. The Lhasa goes down in about 105 feet of water after about 20 minutes of sailing on her maiden voyage. They eventually found the wreckage, by the way, in the 1950s, and now it's one of the biggest tourist attractions in all of Stockholm, Sweden. Bloop. Oops. Didn't think that one through. We have a couple of didn't think that one's through coming up in just a little bit. Happy Bicentennial Missouri, or if you're older, Missouri. Missouri is 200 years old today. Yep. August 10th, 1821, Missouri is admitted as the 24th state in the Union. It is the Show Me state, and they have the most liberal alcohol and liquor laws you will find anywhere. Missouri makes Las Vegas seem like Provo, Utah when it comes to booze. There is no statewide open container law. There is no prohibition on drinking in public in Missouri. There are no alcohol-related blue laws. No state, no county, no city can declare prohibition and go dry. No precise locations for selling liquor. As long as your store is outside of 100 feet from a school, you can apply for a liquor license and sell liquor and beer and wine. They sell them everywhere. Tire stores, grocery stores, gas stations, drug stores. You can't walk into a store in Missouri and not find a liquor location. And state law protects persons from being arrested for public intoxication. It's also completely legal for adults to serve alcohol to juveniles in private. We love you, Missouri. Happy birthday, Missouri. 200 years old today. 44 years ago today, they got him, the son of Sam, who terrorized New York City for over a year. David Berkowitz, a 24-year-old postal employee who lived by himself, was finally arrested for the series of killings in New York City over the period of 1 year from NBC News.
This is the man police believe to be the son of Sam, the .44 caliber killer who has killed 6 and wounded 7 in a string of attacks over the last 13 months. He was arrested outside his apartment in Yonkers, New York at 10:30 last night and brought to police headquarters about midnight. He is David Berkowitz, a 24-year-old postal worker who lived alone. He was smiling as he was brought in. Detectives displayed a .44 caliber pistol found in Berkowitz's car. The police lab says its tests indicate this was the gun used in the most recent Son of Sam slaying. It was Berkowitz's car that led police to him. It had been ticketed for being parked by a fire hydrant on the night of the most recent murder, just a few blocks from the murder scene. Routinely following up the ticket, police found the car in Yonkers and noticed a .45 caliber machine gun inside and an envelope addressed in the killer's style of handwriting.
He was apprehended. He was advised of his rights.
And he resisted.
Advised that he was under arrest, advised of his rights. No, he was resigned to what appeared to be his fate.
Did he make any admissions?
He made a statement along, well, you got me.
He eventually confessed to the murders of 8 people. He got the nickname Son of Sam because he said his next-door neighbor's dog was possessed by the devil and ordered him to do it. He was declared competent to stand trial. He subsequently has admitted in prison interviews that whole dog Satan story was a hoax to get him out of the deal. David Berkowitz, the terror came to an end in New York City. He was arrested on this date back in 1977. And I told you, not quite thinking these things through. August 10th, 1995, 26 years ago today, we have the footage. It's Ball Day at Dodger Stadium. It's a sellout. 53,000 people get a souvenir baseball, and everything's going great until the fiasco breaks out between the Cardinals and the Dodgers. There were a couple of close calls. There were arguments between Tommy Lasorda and the umpires, close calls for strike 3, the players getting a little more upset. When Raul Mondesi came to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning on a 3-0 pitch, called a strike. It's now 3-1. Called strike, 3-2. Raul Mondesi not particularly happy. And then on the full count, he strikes out. He yells at the umpire. The umpire throws him out. Tommy Lasorda comes out. Tommy Lasorda gets thrown out. Here come the baseballs. The game is eventually called because people would not stop throwing baseballs onto the field. And that was it. The Dodgers were forced to forfeit. The Cardinals were ahead 2-1, by the way. In baseball, an official forfeit is 9-0. By the way, in case you're curious, in forfeited games, the stats still count. So there you go. Didn't think that one through. Birthdays. He was a mover and a groover. His name is Herbert Hoover, and he was the 31st president of the United States right up until the Great Depression. He was one of the great American success stories. Grew up dirt poor, difficult childhood, realized he was really smart, went to Stanford University, got an engineering degree, helped feed the world, was a great humanitarian, a self-made millionaire. He donated his salary to charity. And then in his very first try of elected office, he was elected president of the United States in 1928, took office in March of 29. In October of 29 came the stock market crash, the Great Depression, and Herbert Hoover really didn't do much to alleviate things. Lived a long time, though. He was born in the state in 1874, died at the age of 90. In 1964, after he left the presidency, he lived in a suite of apartments at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City. Herbert Hoover, the 31st president of the United States, born in the state in 1874. Charles Darrow, the man who invented Monopoly, the game, born in the state in 1889, died in 1967 at the age of 78. He copyrighted Monopoly in 1933. He patented the game Monopoly. In 1935, he made millions in royalties, but he probably didn't actually invent Monopoly. Somebody else probably did, but he was the one who went out and got the patents and the copyrights. Charles Darrow and his invention, born in the state in 1889. Jack Haley, the Tin Man. If I only had a heart. Born in the state in 1898, he, of course, got the gig as the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz because the first guy cast, Buddy Ebsen, was allergic to the makeup. Buddy Ebsen ended up in the hospital. We got a shooting schedule. We got a movie to make. Jack, can you come in and play the Tin Man? And Jack Haley became immortal in the world of motion pictures by playing the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. Jack Haley died at the age of 81 in 1979. Now, Bobby Hatfield, one half of the Righteous Brothers, would have been 81 years old today. Bobby Hatfield died at the age of 63 in 2003. He was the tenor. Bill Medley, the bass baritone. Bobby Hatfield, the tenor. The Righteous Brothers, when they made their albums, they had an agreement. Bill Medley and Bobby Hatfield did. They would do, each of the members would get to do one song solo without the other member of the duo singing. And in 1965, when they were getting ready to wrap up their album, both Bill Medley and Bobby Hatfield both wanted to sing Unchained Medley as their solo song. They both wanted to do it, so they flipped a coin. Bobby Hatfield won, and with it, rock and roll immortality. Bobby Hatfield, born in the state in 1940. Going to take a break. Got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and then our weekly check-in with the AppleSox, Joel Norman, and Tino Bethancourt. My guests when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
What you're doing is ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, you might as well throw up a screen door to block the summer smoke.
sometimes it gets
When we
warm.
breathe in the wildfire smoke, we are ingesting hazardous chemicals such as acetic acid and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. A lot of bad stuff, okay?
Well, yeah, that's why we...
Cardboard ain't gonna cut it.
So...
Go to chelanpud.org/save today.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson, where we've got huge news. We've started our Blueberry U-Pick. It's a great time to toss the family in the car and get on out to Blueberry Hills, where you can get the best down-home scratch country cooking around and pick some of the world's most delicious and largest blueberries that have been high desert farmed. This makes for an intense blueberry flavor, and they are so much fun to pick. Our fields are open 8 to 2:30 daily and restaurant from 8 to 3, so come on out and join us.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, like I've said before, 75% of folks here in the good old USA call ourselves Christian. Well, that's fine, I guess. But what's really tragic is there are people who don't realize that the true test of loving and sacrificing for others, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, etc., is first and foremost to be displayed at home to your families. It doesn't matter who outside of your family thinks you're a great person. If your spouse and your kids don't think so, or if your parents or your siblings think that you're a jerk, you're missing it. You know, if your Christianity and if your love for fellow man isn't first and foremost demonstrated to those who are closest to you, let's face it, it's meaningless. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Your search for quality patio furniture with excellent customer service is over. Blue Lagoon is proud to offer only the finest outdoor furniture and accessories from some of the most renowned manufacturers in the industry. Our showroom showcases a large selection of in-stock furniture, fire pits, umbrellas, cushions, and outdoor accessories. Our in-house outdoor decor specialist is available to help you design and custom order the perfect furniture for your unique space.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I-dos to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Every Tuesday, we check in with our friends at the Wenatchee AppleSox after a very successful homestand. They swept the Port Angeles Lefties on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of last week. Took the first game of a 3-game set against Cowlitz. Cowlitz got the better part of them on Saturday and Sunday, which mathematically, unfortunately, has eliminated the Wenatchee AppleSox from postseason contention. Still 3 games to go, however. They'll be down in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato, to take on the Yakima Valley, and that'll be it. In the meantime, we got Storm and Joel Norman, and we got Tino Bethancourt, who's had a stellar year. Joel, I'll let you start with that.
Oh, yeah. It's been a lot of fun watching Tino hit this year. He seemed to have loved the home games especially. He had 4 home runs this summer. So far, he's still going to do some damage down in Yakima, but all 4 of them have come here at home in front of the AppleSox fans, and I think at least 3 of them have come after fans have been chanting your name. Am I correct?
Oh, 100%, man. The fans love it, you know, and I love it too, and it fires me up. So.
Yeah, early on, our first homestand of the season, it was just one night. It was late. I think it was like the 8th inning against Walla Walla, and fans just started chanting, you know, Tino, and then it goes deep a pitch later. You can't make it up.
That's right. That was super cool.
Yeah, he had 2 home runs that homestand. You know, it was just a lot of fun watching him here at home. And, you know, last home game of the season the other day, and fans were chanting his name again. And we thought, you know, maybe we'll get one last, you know, magical moment of the summer at home. But it was a lot of fun watching him, a guy who can play third and first. And he's brought a lot of energy to this team this summer, which is really all you can ask for in summer ball.
Well, that's enough of Joel talking about Tino. Tino, talk about Tino. You get your summer here in Wenatchee. How would you describe it? Put it in your own words.
You know, it's been totally different. Coming from a really suburban area, coming out here, it's amazing. You see all the mountains, and even in right field here, you got a nice valley view. And we go down to like Leavenworth, floating down the river. It's just beautiful everywhere here, you know. The weather is super different too. It's hot, it's windy, it's cold, it's everything, you know.
And a
That's all
little
you could ask
smoky
for.
at times
A
too.
little smoky
we
too,
might
yeah,
add.
last week.
We're used to sunny and warm and dry summers here in the Wenatchee Valley, but this has been an unbelievably hot summer. What's it like to go out and have to play baseball when it's 105 degrees outside? How do you prepare for that mentally and physically? Do you just keep pounding the Gatorade, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to stay hydrated, you know. I'm kind of used to playing in the heat, just like going over to Arizona, and then back home it sits around 100 during summer, so I'm just used to it, you know.
It's a dry heat, kind of like a blowtorch.
Dry heat,
you know.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like a blowtorch, yeah.
4 home runs, a lot of ribbies. His spray chart was impressive. This guy can hit.
Yes, he can. And it's been a lot of fun because he didn't get any action this past spring at San Diego State, so I know he was hungry to get here and do some damage. And like I said, he's brought a lot of energy and excitement to this team, and it's so important throughout the course of the summer because it is a long season, and it can drag at times, and there's stretches where things aren't going to go your way. But, you know, Tino, along with a lot of guys on this team, did a great job of maintaining energy and made it a fun season. You know, the homestand this past one wrapping up took 6 of 8 games on that. You know, it was really fun. He had the walk-off hit this past Wednesday, almost a week ago now. I mean, for a lot of people, that was their favorite moment of the summer. A lot of players were saying that was their favorite moment of the summer, just going out and celebrating with him.
You're an Aztec. Talk about the recruiting process, because San Diego is a great baseball town, and San Diego State has a excellent baseball program. Just a natural fit for you?
Yeah, so I think it was right after my freshman year of high school. I went to this big showcase, and I hit a bomb first at bat, and that got me a lot of looks right away. So then I got San Diego State and a couple other schools, but they called me after the game and showed interest, and I was really happy about it. And then over the course of the summer, I ended up committing freshman summer.
Are you a baseball player by nature, or are you one of those guys who just played whatever sport happens to be in season and you find out, hey, you're a pretty good baseball player?
Yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then I think towards high school, like right when I got to high school, I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to be best at baseball here, so let's just stick with that, and I rode with it.
And are you a baseball lifer? Is this something you're going to stay around baseball as long as you can physically play the game, or is this just, hey, I'm going to have fun while I'm young, and eventually I'll get a real job?
You know, a little bit of both, you know. Every day I love coming out and playing baseball, and the day I don't love it, I'm going to stop because I'm done, you know.
Talk a little bit about your teammates, because we're down. This is the last chance we're going to have to actually visit with an AppleSox player next week. It's just going to be Joel and I, and the season wrap up. Some of your favorite teammates, and maybe a story or two on a road trip or here that you want to pass along to our viewers, so long as it's PG-13 or cleaner.
So you know what I love doing the most is whenever we're traveling, we always play cards. You know, it kind of takes your mind off the game. Play a game called 13s, and it's super competitive, and we're screaming, yelling, and you know that really just brings me joy with the boys, and it's always a good time.
What's your hitting philosophy when you step up to the plate? Are you looking for a specific pitch? Are you a straight fastball hitter, or are you looking for something off speed? What's just as long as it's anywhere near to the plate, I'm going to take a hack at it?
You know, it really just depends on the pitcher, what he's throwing, how often he's throwing the different pitches, like his sequences and everything like that. But really just see ball, hit ball. You know, you can't really think too much when you're hitting. You know, you just got to do it.
When you're playing baseball, do your teammates come back and say, this guy ain't got it? I mean, he's got no velocity. We can tee off on this guy. Do you get some of that in the dugout?
You know, you never know. Sometimes you get a little softer guy, and they can dominate. As long as they can command with a couple pitches, you can do it, you know. But sometimes, yeah. Sometimes we know. But sometimes we know, and it doesn't end up working out the way we want it, you know. But
do you prefer first base or third base defensively, or does it matter, as long as you get to play?
On this field, I prefer first base.
Why is that? And be honest with me, Tino.
Well, the dirt on this field is not the best, you know. So going over to first, you don't get as many ground balls, but you can finish the play, you know, rather than start it, you know.
That's true. That's true. Joel, as we mentioned, 3 games, a nice little sweep at the Port Angeles Lefties. Marathon game Friday night against Cowlitz. 4 hours, I think, was that game. Was the team maybe a little fatigued, a little worn out come Saturday? Because it's certainly understandable.
It could have been. You know what I mean? It's a lot of games in a row, and the summer ball season offers that professional-like schedule. You're playing almost every single day. You know, you look at the minor leagues this year; they play Monday through Sunday every single week. Monday's the only off day. So, you know, it's nice when these guys get these off days, but it can be exhausting when you've been doing that for 2.5 months. And, you know, the Division I level, you're playing at most 5 times a week, usually 4. You get the 3 weekend games and then a Tuesday game or so, sometimes a Wednesday or maybe early in the season. But the point is, it's a big adjustment. And I think the guys can learn a lot from that over the course of a summer. But, you know, it comes to a point where, you know, it's important for them to get enough rest as well. And, you know, with the season coming to the end here really fast, I know some of them are going to get a quick chance. I was actually talking to Tino the other day, and he was saying not a lot of time off before going back to school. But, you know, that's why they're in the sport. They love playing baseball, and this is what it's all about. And this is that first step to becoming a professional one day. So I think they're going to learn a lot from this year that they'll look back on and they'll really appreciate. And maybe it's hard in the moment to be like, well, you know, I really appreciated playing every single day, traveling from Bend and playing at home the next night. But I think in time, it's something they value, and I think, you know, the team's done a great job of resting the right guys at the right time, and, you know, it's made for a really successful homestand this past week, and really a high product on the field every day. I mean, that entire series against Port Angeles and even against Cowlitz, I don't think there was a game I thought they were going to lose because of how I knew they could rally back.
Yakima Valley long ago punched their ticket to the playoffs. They won the first half, and, well, they won the second half, too. They'll be taking on Bellingham at the first round of the playoffs. From that perspective, what do you expect from Coach Crustagel from down in Yakima? Is he going to rest all of his starters and try and win this championship? And what's the motivation factor for these players, knowing there's only 3 games left and the season's over? A lot of these guys will be taking their own cars down to Yakima just to get a head start on the trip home. How do you well, I'm going to ask you both of these as a question, but the last 3 games, how does one gear yourself up to play 3 games that really don't count?
I think in a lot of ways you can look at it from the selfish perspective, and no one's going to say that's wrong. It's a chance to add to your stats. You know, Yakima has said, and as we remember from what he did with the AppleSox, when the AppleSox clinched in 2019, he didn't throw a lot of, you know, star pitchers that last series against Corvallis. We had position players pitching. We had guys we picked up on the road pitching. I imagine it's going to be something similar this time. You know, it depends on the ability of those guys, but I think the guys are going to get some chances for the AppleSox to swing the bat and do some damage. And, you know, Coach Crustangel doesn't care about those games because it's over for them until Saturday when they host Bellingham. So for the AppleSox, you know, why not add a few more wins? It's a lot more fun getting back onto the bus after a win than it is a loss. So, you know, why not do it that way? It's, you know, I think there's that perception that there's nothing to play for once you're knocked out of the playoffs, but if that was the case, the guys wouldn't still be here. They'd go home. So, and that's what we like about when guys stick around for this, because there is something to play for. You're still playing for each other a little bit. And that's been my favorite thing about this summer, about this team. They play for each other. Win or lose, they're still smiling after the game. You know, you can be upset, you can want to improve, but you can still love the game. You can still love your teammates. And these guys all love each other, and that's abundantly clear. You know, we had a game Saturday. They were struggling a little bit late. They had a player-only meeting right outside the dugout. They had kind of gotten to the point where Cowlitz was in control, but they still wanted to go out there and compete. And they've done such a great job of being competitive this summer and not just, you know, packing it in and calling it a night. Might be down 10 at one point, but heck, they're going to get a 3-run rally in the 8th because that means something, and you can build off of that too.
And I agree with you 100% because we saw that this year. There were a couple of times it looked like this team was basically, when is it going to be? August 12th, but it never happened. They came to play every day, and it obviously the last 6-game show at the homestand. They could have said, you know, we don't really have a chance to go to the playoffs, and I want Mom's cooking. Instead, you guys decided to ratchet it up a notch and win those 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
So same question I asked Joel. You got 3 games left as an AppleSox, and you're on the road. You're heading back to Southern California. What do you plan? What's your plan of attack for the next 3 games? Try to pad your stats as much as possible, or remember all of these great moments because it's, you know, your AppleSox career is closing out. Talk about what you're expecting the last 3 games down in Yakima.
You know, it's not really about the stats for me. You know, I kind of thinking about it right now. It's just how can I get myself better before I start this fall season. You know, and it's just one last series with the boys and kind of just have a good experience and try to have as much fun as possible going into it. You know.
Tino, I'm going to let you say one more word, then I'm going to close it out with Joel. Any camera works. Look at that camera right over there. Is anybody you want to say hi to? They're going to see you because everybody watches the show down there. Go ahead and say hi.
Mom, Dad, I love you guys. How you doing?
He'll be home soon. He'll be home soon. Joel, going to put you on the spot because by this time next week, the playoffs will be underway. Again, in the South Division, it's going to be Yakima Valley taking on in the North. I'm sorry, it's Yakima Valley and Bellingham. In the South, we don't know yet. There's still some teams that are still in the mix. Who do you think is going to take the championship this year?
Boy, it's always so hard to say because Bellingham's the lower seed, but they've got the host for Game 1. And we saw that with the AppleSox in 2019. You can just grab all the momentum and be in the driver's seat. But for me, it's hard to go against the team who's going to be hosting the final 2 games in a winner-take-all 3-game set. So I'm going to say Yakima's going to take that one. But regardless of who Corvallis plays, I think they're going to win it because this is a different type of team for the Knights this year. We saw it when they played the AppleSox. Wenatchee got out to such a great lead in July when they faced them in the final game, but the Knights just find a way to chip away. It's not the most talented team all around. They're lacking in pitching compared to previous years. They don't hit as many home runs as they used to in a lot of ways, but it's the most competitive Knights team I've seen, and that's scarier in a lot of ways because you can't count those guys out, and you're not sure what they're going to do. Are they going to swing for the fences, or are they going to put down a drag bunt? So Corvallis scares me from that regard, and I'd hate to be playing them in the playoffs.
Well, your opinion carries more merit than anybody else because you're the one who gets to see all the teams and all the games. So, Joel, I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up to Wenatchee and playing your trade here for the AppleSox. I enjoyed watching you play, and you brought that joy to the game that I love to see. So thanks for spending your summer up here in little old Wenatchee Town, USA. And don't forget about us when you're in the major leagues, all right?
I won't, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it, man.
And the same thing for you when you're the radio voice of the Pirates. Don't forget about us too, Joel, all right?
In my dreams, yes.
Right. Again, no more AppleSox home games, 3 games against Yakima Valley. Yakima, again, the gateway to Wapato. And then next Tuesday, we'll wrap it up, the season in review with Joel Norman. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow. We have live bands to rock the night away, comedy to make you laugh, and if that's not enough, we have poker every Monday and Wednesday night. Club Crow in Cashmere has it all. Check out our Facebook event page for dates and times. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Succession is leading the way for a new generation of Chelan wineries. Named Platinum Winemaker of the Year in 2017 and the one to watch in 2018 by Wine Press, Succession is setting the pace. Award-winning wines are just a part of the overall experience. Add live music on Sundays and fantastic views, and you have it all. Succession Wines, located on the north shore of Lake Chelan between Chelan and Manson.
Sitting pretty at 70 degrees with a few high clouds. Pleasant today, hot, hazy for the rest of the week. The excessive heat watch starts tomorrow at noon, goes all the way through Saturday night from the National Weather Service. It looks something like this. Right around 92, give or take a couple today. We hit 83 yesterday. It was a very pleasant Monday. Then here comes the heat. We'll be close to 100 degrees on Wednesday, certainly 100 on Thursday, possibly record high temperatures Friday and Saturday, and right on into Sunday. How much haze and smoke are we going to get really depends on how quickly this high-pressure dome moves in, and more importantly, how much those fires will be active again because of the oppressive heat. We're really keeping a close eye on the fires in British Columbia because the high-pressure ridge will have a tendency to take that smoke from the British Columbia fires and move it right down in to the north central Washington area. We are just going to have to wait and see, but it is going to be sunny and hazy and hot starting in earnest tomorrow. And that's it for us. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7. Take care. Bye-bye.